Hey guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Film Dissection. We're your hosts, Yusef Shah.
Tim Gagen.
And Bryan Jiminez.
And today, on the review, is Mortal Kombat 2021. And, let me tell you, this is,
Video game movies still are cursed.
Yeah, they are. And it's kind of sad because this movie started off extremely well. Like the way the first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, I was like genuinely blown away. I was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, "Oh, this is like." I was like watching with my one friend, and I just like we were watching it to make fun of it. And I was like, "Oh, this is actually like kind of cool."
Mm-hmm.
And then it went downhill.
Oh my, it was ridiculous. I had never seen a movie start so strong and just like have the biggest. This is a roller coaster movie, but there's only one drop, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. Because this movie, like, it starts off like that first opening fight between Hanzo Hasashi and Bihan. Boy, let me tell you, that really hooked me, and I was like, oh, they're going for it. They're really giving it their all, and I was just like, damn, like hats off. I didn't think you guys were gonna do it, but that was impressive. And then like right as that scene ends, just pure dog shit. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I didn't think like the first 10 minutes. I thought like my computer had like fucked up and just switched to a different movie because there was no way a movie could have started that well and then just turned to that complete bullshit we had seen. Like I don't know, man. That was. How did you feel about that first opening scene?
Everything after that origin scene.
Really though, Brian, how did you feel about that first opening scene?
Honestly, I didn't really like it. I was kind of bored like in the first 5 minutes immediately.
Really?
I like.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I'm trying to think exactly what part. I think I liked it. I liked the part when that one monster kind of came in like halfway through the movie when they went to like the hideout. For some reason, I found that part really entertaining. But besides that, like nothing too special in my opinion.
Not even the opening.
Like the
Yeah,
lizard?
it was like a lizard,
reptile.
an alien. I don't know what you would
That was
call
supposed
it.
to be reptile.
The one where they
reptile.
use the flare on them.
Yeah. So let's just get into it and let's just start from the top. So the movie opens up with Hanzo Hasashi like in his family, just like coming back, getting some water from whatever fucking forest they live in, and then this cold nigga Bihan pulls up. For those of you who don't know, Bihan is the original Sub-Zero, the leader of the fucking whatever the fuck that shit is called. There's the Shirai Ryu and the fucking cold niggas who hang out in the cold all day. I forget the name of the other clan, but you know what I'm talking about. His younger brother, Kuai Liang, becomes Sub-Zero after him. And that's like the storyline of like Mortal Kombat. It's like they start, Bihan goes and kills Scorpion. Scorpion goes to hell, comes back. His whole purpose is to kill...
Oh, he kills him in his family.
Yeah, he kills him in his
like
family.
His clan or whatever.
And then pretty much they murder the entire Shirai Ryu clan. And then... fucking Hanzo Hasashi comes back as Scorpion with the sole purpose of murdering Sub-Zero, and then he kills Bihan. Bihan dies, comes back as new Saibot, and his younger brother Kuai Liang comes back as Sub-Zero. But the difference between Kuai Liang and Bihan is a dick, and Kuai Liang is actually a good guy, and he doesn't actually like have beef with any of the Shirai Ryu or Hanzo Hasashi. They kind of have like a little rivalry going on, but they end up patching it up later when they figure out what really happened. But that's neither here nor there because they don't even talk about that in the movie. Because as soon as that's over, they show us some MMA fighter named Cole. And, well. Fucking Cole. Cole's with this little girl.
Cole is a bitch.
He is a bitch. Cole's with this little girl who looks like he could be his younger sister. And then a woman shows up who looks like they could be...
Yeah, my friend was like, it's like, are they dating? And then it was like, oh, it's his daughter. I'm like, oh.
It doesn't even look like his daughter. It looks like his younger sister. And then a woman shows up looking like they could be both his sister and Cole's mom. And then they kiss on the mouth, indicating to us that is his wife. The casting in this movie is holy shit, dude. It is fucking horrendous. I could not believe it, bro.
It was a little underwhelming. Like, I didn't know any of the actors, like, at all.
I know the person who plays Hanzo Hasashi is, like, a very famous Japanese actor. I do know that.
Yeah, I heard one person said he was in some other stuff.
Yeah, I heard he's a good one
Like,
too. Like
yeah.
he's very well loved. Like he's a good famous Japanese actor, and he's like in some. I don't know. I personally don't know what movies he's been
Not
in,
after this
but
movie.
I've heard positive things about him. I knew like this is not his best work, but I know like he is a seasoned actor and is like ranked up there among the highest. So that's why I'll leave him out of this. But everybody else, y'all don't get a fucking pass. This shit was ass, dog. Like. So after Cole, he's an MMA fighter, and we know that, and apparently he was good at one point in time, but we wouldn't know that because the first fight we see him in, he loses, but he loses in a very strange. He actually is dominating the fight. I don't know if you guys follow.
Well, he was.
He was dominating the fight very well, and then, he puts the guy in an arm bar, and actually he should be submitted here. He breaks the guy that's holding his hand to not get put in an arm bar. Cole breaks the lock. Puts him in a full armbar, and then he somehow gets reversed on, and he's forced to tap. And he gets put in like what looks like, this isn't a real submission, but it would look like an MMA equivalent of like a Rings of Saturn, where he pulls both his arms back while choking him out at the same time, so putting pressure on the spine and the neck and the throat as well. And that anyone would tap at that. That's a pretty difficult move, and almost kind of surprising how he even reverses into that. I don't know how the hell he did that, but it was cool. He tapped out, and so yeah, Cole a bitch. And then the movie just picks up, like just right with the pace from there. Like no time to rest. Just next thing that happens is fucking Sub-Zero shows up to fucking murk niggas. Like that shit was out of pocket. And then Jax kind of shows up and was like, so you're the famous Cole MMA boxer dude. And he's like, yeah, I was once a winner. And he's like, stay frosty. Like he says, they're cheesy ass one-liners. And then Sub-Zero shows up, fucks up the whole city. Then Jax pulls up in a truck and is like, get in. And my first thought is when I saw that scene is, hold on, you just met this guy literally like 10 minutes ago. He's telling you to hop in this truck.
At first, it seemed like Jax was like the bad guy.
At first,
and then he was like, the good guy. It's like it was very confusing.
Yeah, it is confusing. I'm assuming you guys don't know anything about the Mortal Kombat lore. Is that fair to say? Or?
Yeah, I was about to ask. Like, I'm not. I know like little bits. Mm-hmm. But I don't know like that much.
Yeah, we should have said that from the beginning. I was like, I played Mortal Kombat a few times with my friends, but like in terms of the storyline and the characters, I wouldn't be able to hold a conversation.
Yeah, like I never owned a Mortal Kombat game. I've only played them a few times.
But the thing is, if they're making a movie out of a video game, they should make the movie so that people that don't play the video game can still enjoy it. That's part of making a video game sort of movie.
Also, this character Cole isn't a pre-existing character at all. He's completely new.
Oh, okay. I wanted to say that for the end, but yeah. Character. But we can get into that right now. So I'm gonna address two things really quickly. First thing is, I am pretty well versed in Mortal Kombat lore, and it's not extremely hard to like make it in a way so people don't know about it to get into it. In that, the easiest way to do that is just follow the story that Mortal Kombat already laid out. Because Mortal Kombat kind of resets the story just about every time that in like every 3 games they kind of reset the story. And like, it's like pretty easy for people to get into. Like if you played Mortal Kombat 9, they just restart the story entirely so that new players that didn't play like back when Mortal Kombat originally came out could understand the story, which is fine. And it's like people don't know, just start from the very top, and that's what I thought they were gonna do here. But I don't know what they were going for because they kind of half-assed it. They started off with fan service, trying to make it seem like their audience was people already knew, and then like as soon as they switched to Cole stuff, they're like, actually, we're not doing that. We want to make it so that people who don't know can get into it. And like
also one thing I want to mention is like I don't really know much about the story, but I know Sub-Zero killed Scorpion's clan and killed him before and made him into Scorpion or whatever, but I kind of thought that the clan would be like bigger, like it was just like this like one hut and a few people. It seemed more small scale than I imagined.
That's another thing where it's like brings me back to some point of they try to make it seem like it's for the fans. So I remember the name now of Sub-Zero, so they're called the Lin Kuei. So the Lin Kuei, it's like Bloods and Crips pretty much, like Shirai Ryu, red niggas fire, Lin Kuei, blue niggas ice. Like, they've had beef for years. Lin Kuei had the one-up on the Shirai Ryu. And, like, Bihan is kind of like, from my interpretation of the story, because I'm pretty well versed, but, like, I can't say I know I haven't crossed every T, dotted every I. But from what I understand is that Hanzo Hasashi is a bit more, chill. And, like, Bihan was kind of just, like, he just one of the murder-ass niggas. Like, he's just killing people just because the day ends in Y, simply for that reason. So that's why, like, the Lin Kuei kind of were dominating over the Shirai Ryu. And that's why he was the only one left at the beginning. And then he goes and kills his family, obviously. And that's not the Shirai Ryu temple. I'm pretty sure that's just where Hanzo Hasashi lives. I don't think that's because they do have a temple.
Yeah, it was just like his house.
Yeah, that was just his crib. Like, that's not their temple per se, though. But, what I was saying is, they kind of make it seem like they're making it for, like, the people already knew, and then they kind of reset it's actually for people who don't know, and then halfway through, actually it's for people who do know, and they kind of, like, don't know if they want to make it for the fans who do know, or if they want to make it for new fans who, like, have yet to really understand the story yet. So they're kind of going back and forth with this, and they end up just appeasing no one, and it just makes the kind of whole story, like, muddled. Like, so my question to you guys would be like, do you guys think like after seeing this movie, you guys understand anything about the Mortal Kombat story? Like, what do you think the Mortal Kombat story is? Like, just from what you've learned in this movie alone. Like, if you had to put it in your own words.
I feel like I knew like very basic things, and I think I've already kind of known the stuff that they established beforehand. I mean, at least plot wise, they didn't really add anything new. So I don't think I really gained anything story element wise from it.
Yeah.
Overall.
I would say I somehow gained an appreciation for the game, like the basic idea, which is fighting. They made like fighting seem like a very intense practice and like an art form, basically. I feel like I came out of it appreciating that aspect of the game a lot more. That's about it.
That's cool. I didn't even the fight scenes that did not involve Sub-Zero or Scorpion, they just weren't good fight scenes at all. That's just how I felt personally.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, Tim,
I feel like they should have kind of, I don't know. I feel like they're like, it's hard to go the route where it's like, should they like be more realistic, or should they be like in the games where people like get like limbs cut off and then like whatever midway through the fight and then just go back? And I don't know if it would have helped if they went that more like cartoony style where like it's really bloody during the fight but they're still going on. Because they kind of went that way, but they also kind of didn't.
well,
So,
here's the
I don't
thing.
know.
Like, you can be gory and realistic at the same time. It's just like, it's just about how you do it. Like, think of it almost like, clearly they're trying to add a level to realism with this, with the fights. So just make kind of the impact of the hits more brutal themselves, instead of just trying to like, because all like the gory shit that happens really isn't until like a fatality happens.
Yeah.
So like you can still just keep the element of the fight scene the same, make the and just put more emphasis on the punches themselves. And then like when it comes to like a fatality, then just go all full out cartoon, because it's fatality. You can't make that look realistic no matter how hard you try, But the fight scenes themselves, you can add a level of realism to it. And it's just like I just don't really see what the vision was. Like, how did you guys feel like that came off?
No.
I want more blood, more gore. Even if it looked a little weird, like Tim said, more like video game like, almost cartoonish, I would have not minded at all. Because I mean, I'm familiar with playing the video game. Like in the video game, it's like super like bloody as hell. So I would have expected to see that in the movie specifically.
And the thing is, I'll give them the credit for when it comes to like I don't know, like for some of the fatalities that they did, I do like the way they executed them, because I thought it was a bit interesting, especially Kung Lao's fatality. I thought that was cool. I thought Kano's was cool as well. I liked Kano. Like, he got annoying halfway through the movie, but to be fair, he was also high-key carrying the movie. Like, if it wasn't for him, would have been.
I did actually laugh at some of his jokes.
Oh,
he did.
Some of his comic relief was actually
to clarify, Kano was the guy with the eye, right? Just so the audience knows.
Yeah, the laser.
It was also
he's
weird how
definitely annoying.
Yeah, he got. I think it started off well.
You want to talk about that?
I think it started off well, Kano, but he kind of just like everything. Like, he just like, it was almost like, okay, be Kano, but just like do Kano over the top and just keep doing it over the head with it. Like, I think like the jokes themselves were fine. What he was saying was fine. Just, you gotta like spread it out over the movie instead of like every time he speaks he has to be overly Kano. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like he was the only one there, and all the other characters were being super stale, kind of
Mhm.
doing nothing.
And like maybe that's the reason why. Maybe he seems overly annoying because all the other characters are boring as fuck. So like all that attention is
Because I
drawn
literally
on
just
him.
don't say anything most of the time and don't
Yeah.
do anything.
The characters are very like flat. And you were talking about Cole. So here's what I thought. When we first see Cole, in my interpretation, I'm thinking, oh, this might be new Liu Kang. And that's not how the storyline of Liu Kang would originally have gone. But I'm like, okay, that's fine. He could be Liu Kang 2.0.
It
I'm
works.
not fine. If they want to reimagine it, I respect them for that. And then Liu Kang showed up, and I was just like, okay, so maybe he's the reincarnation of Scorpion. That's kind of cool. I kind of rock with that, and it made sense because he keep having the visions of Scorpion, like the little flashback Johns. Remember that? And I'm like, okay, he's Scorpion.
We saw the Mortal Kombat sign or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, he's Scorpion. And then Scorpion showed up. And then that's when I realized, oh, Cole is just some guy. Like, that's
Some random descendant. Not even like his direct descendant. It was like a bunch of ancestors away.
And he's also not the last one because he said he's the last bloodline. But Cole has a daughter. There's another bloodline there.
I didn't even
So
think of that. Yeah. Huh.
he's just a dude.
Mortal Kombat
That's-
2
and he has-
confirmed?
I hope not.
I mean, I wonder if they actually did well, like on like number wise. Like, I wonder how many people actually watched it, if they made a profit out of it. Because I don't think they did.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm wondering if they're gonna go around with making a second one or no. Like if they'll make a second one to improve this stuff or if it's like I don't know.
I don't feel like there's much you can do to improve. Like you've already like I feel like they fucked up like so much that like there's like not I don't even know where you go from here because it's just like I look at this film and I just think to myself like oh like you just kind of fucked everything really like I don't even know how to fix this or retcon any of this shit because it's just kind of a jumbled mess at the moment, to be quite honest with you. How do you guys feel about Cole? I want to hear your honest opinions.
Yeah.
How did do you guys like Cole as a character? You
Like,
he
I
fits the
like-
story?
Like I don't know anything about the games, but I was like watching reviews on it. And I think it would have been just better like using the source material that there already was instead of creating this new character because I didn't really care about him. It wasn't very interesting. I didn't even know what his powers were. He had some sort of weird
Yeah, till
armor
the
thing.
end.
His Arcana.
And also, he was like, yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
and like I don't know, it's like I feel like they could have like had more fan service by having another character that was already existing, and it also would have been like probably more interesting if they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they focused more on like Scorpion or something, I feel like the movie would have like been way more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe they could have
Right.
done like everything up to the point where he like pretty much got stabbed to death, like a backstory to that. In terms of Cole though, I think
Because like,
you go.
because like I don't know, they were I think they like did spent this all this time on Cole, which was like really boring. Versus if they like already worked on an established character, they could have gone into the whole tournament thing a lot quicker, and I think it would have had more action, more interesting things, and yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels like everything's rushed, like super rushed. I feel they just kind of jumped from place to place. Now there was a scene where they said they were gonna get on the plane, and next thing you know, they're on a plane, right? But like I wanted more. Like they squished everything together. So pacing wise, I didn't like the pacing at all. I would have probably said go slower, I guess, to try to develop the characters more because I feel I didn't know anything about like the girl, the cyborg guy, well the guy that would eventually become basically a cyborg, right? Just everybody. I barely knew anybody in the movie at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember some stuff. And the villains are like
Oh, the villains
you got
too.
Sub-Zero.
Like who the
Sub-Zero is the only notable villain, and there's like other ones that show up for like one little bit and die and stuff. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, I feel
I
you.
don't know. And like
Personally-
I don't know, for like the legacy Mortal Kombat has, some of them I think should have had more weight to them.
Here's the thing.
This coming from someone who's not even a big Mortal Kombat fan,
Yeah.
or at least knowledgeable in the universe.
I'm not a crazy Mortal Kombat fan either. Like, I like the game. I'm not a diehard. I know about the story. I'm not a diehard fan. Like, it's just something cool to me. Like, I had no expectations for this movie. I mean, the trailer's cool, and then people said, like, it was ass, but, like, it didn't mean anything. Like, this movie, like, succeeds or fail. Like, it's not
I
gonna
heard
impact
like
me.
good things leading up to it.
Yeah, I heard good things leading up to it too. I heard like people. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. Like I'm very interested to see where they take this, and like they're really kind of going for it from what the scenes were. But like the scenes they shown were pretty much the best bits of the movie. Like that was the only good parts of the movie were the scenes they shown. But what I'll say about Cole is this: is that him being in the story is pointless, and here's why. There's no need to make a new main character because we already have so many. You could have followed Liu Kang, who's like the guy. Liu Kang is like he's like the main character. But like he's not the only main character because like every comic book series or like video game series, there's multiple universes. That's just how everything works. There's always multiple universes. You use Liu Kang. You know what? You don't want to use Liu Kang. Why? Who wants to use Liu Kang? Boo. That guy's boring. Okay, that's fine. You could use Johnny Cage. He's also like the main character that a lot of storylines follow when doing a Mortal Kombat storyline. Okay, I don't want to do Johnny Cage. That guy's an asshole. Why would I use him? Okay, fine. Well, we can use Scorpion. I don't want to use Scorpion. Who else can we use? Sub-Zero, another main character that you could easily follow the story around. I don't want to use Sub-Zero. Raiden, another main character. You could easily it's not like they were like limited on options. Because Mortal Kombat kind of does it in a way where like they have multiple characters kind of be the hero of the story. So it's just like there's many routes you could take it, and somehow you chose the one path that wasn't even offered to you. And I don't know why when all the other paths were already proven to work. There's not a need for Cole when we already gave you multiple main not just like a character, main characters, the hero of the stories to choose.
And you could have even used an old one, like changed up the story a little bit, but they didn't even do that.
Exactly. Like you have characters to choose from to like base the story around, and like I don't know what the point of adding Cole was. I don't feel like he didn't add anything to the story. Like he didn't,
because it doesn't appease any old fans, and it doesn't do anything for any new fans either.
Because
they wouldn't care if it was an old character.
He doesn't save the day. Like Scorpion at the end of the story saves the day. He comes in and beats Sub-Zero, and that's the end of the movie. Cole kind of, I don't want to say does nothing, but like he doesn't do anything of real importance throughout the whole story.
He really doesn't do much.
Yeah, like he's just kind of like, he's really just kind of there. And that's like the weird thing about him. It's just like he's the only main character that throughout a story doesn't accomplish any overarching goal. And it's just, that's why it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just like, what was the point of that?
So, would you blame the director for all these decisions then, Yusef?
Well, the director isn't always the writer. So it was whoever wrote this story is who I blame for this.
I looked up the director. His name is Simon McCoy. He's Australian, right? But I'm looking at his background. He pretty much did commercials, like up till now. So this might have been his first story? Like real big budget movie. What was that?
Yeah. Do you happen to know who wrote this story? Because I have no clue who wrote this shit. I didn't look it. I just skipped it. Yeah, I like as soon as the credits hit, I skipped to see if there's an end credit scene. There wasn't. I just turned that shit off. Like, cause I had no more to like.
I know people like really want like live action like video game movies, but I feel like a Mortal Kombat movie would like do really well in like an animated form. Like, cause it'd be a lot easier to like, go with stuff.
I think it already did. I'm pretty sure they do have Mortal Kombat like animated like little movie or series that I heard did well. I think it's called. I don't know what it's called, to be quite honest with you, so I'm not going to just say a name. Maybe it's Mortal Kombat. Actually, I will just say a name. Who gives a fuck? You can sue me if I'm wrong. But maybe it's fucking Mortal Kombat Legacy. I think that was the animated thing. That could be wrong. If it is, fuck it. I tried. But I just don't know what I don't know what the vision was here.
Damn.
Like, I don't know what the goal was and what the plan was and all that.
I just really don't know what the vision... Because, like, what this movie looks like to me is, like... Here's how I describe this movie in my head. Like, if I were to explain this movie to you. It's as if you took a bunch of college students, gave them a big budget, but because they're college filmmakers, they're inexperienced, gave them a big budget, but no experience, and then you explain to them around 15% of the Mortal Kombat. If you just explained about 15% of it to them, gave it to him, said, make a movie about that. This is 15% of the story. The rest of it, you can just kind of make up on your own. And then that's kind of what this movie is. That's if you gave a bunch of college kids with no real film experience, or like enough film experience to make a movie, gave them a big ass budget and said, this is 15% of the Mortal Kombat storyline. Fuck it, bro. It's your life. Make some shit for us. And then just put it on to fucking theaters. And that's what this movie is.
I went ahead and looked up some of the writers. None of them like popped up like at all. None of them seemed noticeable except for one guy who was part of the Spider-Man movie, the Into the Universe, the animated one.
Oh, Into Spider-Verse?
That's like the only guy that has some sort of like something to back him up. Everything else, like there's a total of 5 people, right? But it seems like they're pretty new to this whole thing. So
interesting.
Seems they could have done a better job at getting better writers, I guess, for this type of movie. But you know.
Yeah.
I wonder if like studios are just like if they don't want to invest like actual talent into this kind of stuff. Like I'm curious what.
But why wouldn't you want to invest good talent into a movie like this?
Especially into a big title. It's because like Mortal Kombat is like I feel like it's safe to say it's a household name. Like I feel like everyone kind of knows about Mortal Kombat. Like when you talk about video games, like that's a very like well-known franchise. Is that fair? I feel like that's fair to say. So it's just like if you're gonna take over such a big title, why not?
It's very pop culture iconic.
Yeah, I would say so. So like, why not like actually invest the time and money into it to make something good? Like it just kind of feels lazy. Like the movie just feels real lazy. It didn't feel like anyone actually cared how this did. Like they just kind of made it simply for the sake of saying they made it. Like almost. Like I don't know. Like it just feels really lazy to me. Like I don't know. Like I'm fine if something's bad, but I at least want to see effort. It didn't feel like they put any effort into this, and that's like one of the things that makes me just most upset. Like I get, like this is not Mortal Kombat. It's nothing crazy. It's not like some deep meaning story like Jojo Rabbit or Taxi Driver. But like it's still like a movie that's like fun. Something for the kids. Like something fun that we could all watch and just have a good time
kids
with.
And stuff.
You know what I mean, bro. But like, but it's just like middle schoolers finna sneak into theaters and watch this shit anyways. But it's just like. With the title,
yeah, I mean, when everyone watched when everyone was introduced to Mortal Kombat, it was like, middle school, maybe even earlier.
Exactly, like young bullshit.
I will say this: I did like the special effects. Some of them actually look pretty decent. Not gonna lie, like special effects definitely put in the work for this movie.
There were some parts where it looks good at some parts, but there's other parts where it did not look good.
I thought the special effects looked really, I don't know. I feel like it reminded me.
I remember. Like every time there was Sub-Zero, I feel like it looked good. Like I remember when he froze the shotgun bullets. That looks pretty cool. But then I remember stuff like the blood effects looked like really bad. And I remember I don't know the name, but like the big guy Cole fought in the end.
Goro.
The forearm dude.
Goro.
That dude looked like really bad.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Other than Sub-Zero, the special effects reminded me a lot.
And some of the effects on people.
It reminded me a lot of like prequel Star Wars, like Hayden Christensen, Ewan McGregor Star Wars. It felt like I went back in time almost. I was like, I definitely know we're in 2021, so why am I getting 2001 special effects? Something's not adding up here. So
yeah, the one guy looked like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, that's kind of what this movie reminded me. I was not a fan of the special effects. And the thing is, this movie pissed me off so much, I didn't even take notes on this film because I just didn't feel like there was a need. Like, it wasn't worth... Every movie that we review, I take notes on. Not this one, because it didn't feel like it was worth my energy to take notes on. And the thing is, I still retained most of it, sadly. I'd hope I'd forget it, but no, I retained most of what happened. And I won't be able to get that back, so a little pissed about that. But, yeah, so that's how I felt about the special effects, really. So let's talk about the characters. What characters did you guys like? What characters did you guys not like?
I mean, definitely the most entertaining, interesting parts were like the Sub-Zero Scorpion conflict.
Yeah.
Like Scorpion or Sub-Zero was definitely like the most interesting villain, and he definitely was like a threatening presence. But all the other villains were just kind of like there. You didn't really hear much about him. You didn't really know much.
Yeah, he stole the show.
There was no backstory. But Sub-Zero was cool. And Scorpion's cool. I wish there was more Scorpion,
Hmm.
but he just like is there in the beginning, kind of shows up later on. And besides that, all the other characters, I mean, like the ones that are at the temple, like Liu Kang and like Raiden, are cool, but like they're they don't really invest in anything on them, so it's like they're like almost good,
They make
but they're just like material to work with.
Liu Kang feels really flat in this movie.
Yeah,
Like that's what I mean. Like a lot of the characters
like
who,
it was like interesting to see him, and then yeah,
a lot of the characters who aren't Kano, we're honestly not even. Yeah, like literally every character who isn't Kano at this point, they kind of just feel like they're in the
Mhm.
movie for the sake of being in the movie. Like I don't feel like they have any personality. Like they all kind of felt the same. It was
Mhm.
like fucking
Yeah, the writing and the characters is like one of the weakest aspects of this movie, probably
yeah.
because there's like some really good material they can use, and they just like didn't use it,
Hmm.
and it really showed because these characters were just like both like the protagonists and the villains. There was like nothing really interesting with them,
Yeah.
and you didn't really feel anything at all when anything happened.
Yeah. Bro,
Um,
how did you feel about the characters?
Actually, the only characters that I was just like a little bit, interested in was the relationship between Sonya Blade and Jax. Just because, like, I feel there was definitely some like cool story behind them meeting up.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
like how she like genuinely cared for Jax, like when he was like, I guess, growing back his arms.
Hmm.
Those were the only two characters that I was kind of like more intrigued by for some reason. Like they didn't have cool superpowers, but for some reason I was like,
Can
yo, I
we
want to
can
know
we
more
talk
about
about
you.
can we talk about Jax with his like original robotic arms, the
Yeah.
little stubby ones?
Yeah,
That's
that
so
was kind of funny.
stupid.
That was funny. But I'll actually say when Jack actually gets like the bigger arms, like and it like grows, I was like, okay, I like that. That's a cool little like uplifting moment. I'll take
Protein
that.
powder.
Yeah,
Protein
that
powder.
was cool. I was fucking with that.
One other thing I want to talk about is like how the logic for the powers and all this stuff just there's like no logic to any of it, like
It's like it just
no
happens.
explanation to kind of
It just
yeah,
comes
Yeah,
to you naturally. Yeah.
yeah. I
like
find it
there's all
funny.
this stuff. It's like so weird and yeah, it was like funny and how stupid it was.
Yeah.
Also, like just the powers, the way they worked or whatever. Like Sonya just got these purple lasers
Oh
and
yeah,
all this
that's just like
stuff. It
she
was
literally
like
just gets those at the end of the movie. Like that's just actually insane. Like she just kills Kano and she just like fucking look, I got lasers now, and then that was it. And I was just like, are you fucking serious? Like what was the whole point? Like it just almost felt stupid. Like she like she just no powers, no arcana, no fucking dragon tattoo. Bitch just comes in, kills Kano, gets his dragon tattoo, and it's just like, yep. And the thing, she had no struggle getting her arcana. As soon as she killed him, boom, lasers. What in like the blue hell? Like everyone else struggled to get their shit. She just comes in, fucking pew 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 on that Wonder Woman armbands. Like I didn't get it, man. Oh, this movie was.
like there's like wasn't much consistency and like there wasn't much detail on how they did it. Like I like the idea of kind of like having like chosen fighters, but they just didn't really go into depth or any like they didn't really work on it at all. Like I feel like they could have had a cooler explanation as to how these people got their powers, but it's like, oh no, they go to this temple and have to train there. And I don't know, it's just I don't even remember really because it was so stupid.
Yeah.
But it just did not work out the way they did it. Like that was one thing I remember. It was like just the powers and the way they were earned just
Hmm.
did not work for me at all.
I was watching a review on this film, and someone commented, "I find it funny that Cole's Arcana is literally plot armor." And that shit made me die out laughing, bro.
Oh yeah, I
Because
saw
that
that.
literally is his Arcana. It's literally plot armor. And I'm just like, fuck, like, how did I not pick up on that? You know why that's funny? Is because the writing, if the writing is intelligent enough to make a joke like that, why the fuck couldn't they, why couldn't it be smart enough to write a good movie and make rounded characters? If you can make a joke that funny, why can't you make a good movie? Like, what was the point of that? Because, like, that's something I didn't even pick up on until I read that comment. And I was like, wow, is Arcana quite literally is plot armor. Like, that shit is insane. Like, I don't know, man. That that is absurd to me. You guys, who would you say your favorite character in this movie was?
Am I allowed to say
The
none?
faces. Your faces when I asked that question, like,
I was
was that
like,
my favorite character?
because I asked myself the same question once I finished watching. I always ask myself, I was like, okay, who was like your favorite? Like, who would you want to meet in person? I was like, I don't want to meet any of these
Like in the
people.
games, I know, like I don't know, it's like Scorpion seems the coolest, but it's like
I feel if I met Scorpion, he would kill
there's
me
not
just for no reason.
much.
So hard
There's
pass
just
on
like
that.
nothing there. I don't know.
Being a demon for real. So Sub-Zero.
There's like no character that's like. Yeah.
I
don't
like
know.
Sub-Zero's. I like Bihan. I like their interpretation of Bihan. I thought that was cool. I do genuinely believe that the plot between Sub-Zero and like Scorpion is the only good part of this movie, because like they are like the only characters that seem to have like
Yeah.
I don't know, something to them, and it's just like I think they did Sub-Zero well though. I'm glad they did their interpretation of him. I thought that was cool.
I feel like this movie just would have been way better if they like didn't pick up on the present and if they just stayed with the Scorpion Sub-Zero part, like, or he goes to hell or whatever, and then they go to the like beginning of Mortal Kombat there with like Raiden and
Like
stuff.
low key,
And I feel like that would have been
you
cooler.
spitting, but the only issue is to pick up on that story, you have to go to the present. But you spitting though. I do high key agree with that. But you do have to go to the present to continue their story. But you like, I think one of you said like do like a prequel of just like what builds up.
It's just I don't know. It's like the way they brought the.
Like
Yeah.
maybe like a prequel to like what built up to that moment of them like fighting each other.
Yeah.
Like that would be cool. And then like that would set up the next movie, and like you'll have every people for the new fans who don't know, that will instantly get them to know the story because you just do it on Scorpion Sub-Zero, and then you pick up from that in the next movie, and I'm like, okay, so this is why, this is who Sub-Zero is, this is who Scorpion is, and then now we know the background of what Mortal Kombat is, and then you just pick up from present day in like the second movie, and you kind of just go through the motions of like the tournament and all that shit, and like and you introduce us to like the present day characters, like that would be a cool thing, and maybe like the third movie is a tournament. That would be an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Also, like I wanna talk about the main villain name. I don't even remember what his name is. The dude who like
Shang Tsung. That's supposed to be Shang Tsung.
the dude who took out Kung Lao.
Yeah, Shang Tsung. Yo.
It's like he just like is there for a little bit, and he's like in Dark World, and it's like I'm gonna take this guy's soul, and Raiden just watches like
Because
I'm gonna watch.
He can't like intervene. That's why. But Shang Tsung can intervene. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Either way. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I'm not trying to figure out is why is that Raiden's not allowed to intervene, but Shang Tsung can kind of just do whatever the fuck he wants when he wants. Like he's bounded by no rules for some reason.
Right, like bro's on creative mode this whole time. He's just doing whatever he wants.
Exactly. I don't understand like why he gets a pass, but Raiden just has to sit there and just take it. I don't.
He look cool as fuck too.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what his powers are, but he just looks fucking cool.
So
Like, I would love to see him like say fuck it, just start shooting shit.
no, Shang Tsung's actually a cool character. What he does is he takes other characters' souls and he basically gets their arcana. Like in the game, Shang Tsung he turns into the other characters and then can use their powers, which I think is really cool.
Oh,
He's a very cool
that would have
character.
been dope to see
Yeah.
for sure.
So he's kind of boring in this movie. I mean, like
Yeah, like there's like no, you don't really understand like his motivation. Yeah, there's like no motivation for him. He's just kind of like evil. And it's like there's so many different areas that they pick up on, and it's like they just don't commit to anything really.
yeah, I don't really know what that's all about. My favorite.
No, I'm trying to. If I remember correctly, they did tease Johnny Cage though at the end of the movie, right? I think there was like a poster of him.
They sure
Yeah.
did. And
It just hit me. So maybe they are going to make a second part, and hopefully it's better. If they're already teasing
I
Johnny
guess
Cage.
it depends on how profitable it seems.
I'd
and all
rather
that, I guess.
they just not make a movie and all and just call it a day. I think you just say it's just not gonna work out, and we just give up, and we just say we tried, we didn't try hard enough clearly, so just leave Johnny Cage alone.
I don't even know if they tried.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd really try. They kind of just made a movie, like just for the sake of saying they made a movie. Who's your guys?
I feel like there's some people that are probably trying, some people that are like really passionate about it, but there's definitely guys higher up that didn't really
Yeah.
care. And
Have you guys
Right.
all played the game or no?
Yep.
Tim, have you played it?
like a little
I
bit,
played
like
it.
just a little bit. Just a very
I think
tiny
when I
bit.
played Liu Kang too. So when I saw him like on the movie, I was like, damn, that's the guy I usually pick too. That's
Liu
crazy.
Kang is fun. He's a fun character.
Yeah, I would always pick Scorpion because I see him in the trailers and it looks cool.
My favorite character is Kung Lao. And here's like another thing about this movie, it's that it's very predictable. As soon as Kung Lao showed up on the screen, I told myself, oh yeah, he's gonna die this movie for sure. Because he could have, it was not even funny. As soon as he shows up, he gives off the aura of, yeah, I'm not important to the story at all. And as he goes on, he wasn't important to the story. Kung Lao, and I want you, so the audience, if you're listening to this, and if you like Kung Lao like me, he's a cool character. Kung Lao's only purpose in this movie is to die. That is it. And that's weird because Kung Lao is another one of those characters who is a main character. Like, he's kind of important to the story.
Yeah, it's like big in the Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he's kind of big. Like, he's kind of a main guy. He does die in the Mortal Kombat series, but his death is a lot more, like, built up and a lot more meaningful. And it's also not how he dies in this movie. Like, the way he died in this movie is not how he dies in this series at all. And it's just, like, you could have at least... Like, if you're playing What's to Make More Movies, he's not supposed to die in the first movie. He's supposed to die in, like, the very last movie. Like, you know, he's, like, that character. He's, like, he's the most important death that, like, triggers everything kind of, like, really. But, like, he shows up, and I'm just like, yeah, he's gonna die. He doesn't feel important. He wasn't important. He does his cool little hat fatality on some one bitch. I don't even remember. Some little winged shit. I don't know what the fuck that shit was. Some little bat demon. He does the cool fatality.
She literally was there, like, for one quick scene before that, and then she goes in and dies.
And then, but it was like, it was so obvious that his death was coming. And I just don't know why. Like, what was the purpose of killing him? Like, it was just, I didn't feel like it made sense to me. Like, it kind of just felt like with many things in this movie, he kind of just died just for the sake of dying. Like, it didn't have real purpose. Like, you didn't build him up. You didn't make his death impactful. You kind of just killed him just for the sake of killing him. And you killed off a very important main character. Like, for what? I don't know. Like, that's just... And I wasn't even... Yeah.
That would be like killing, like, Captain America, like, in Civil War, basically. Just...
Not even in Civil War. That would be like killing Captain America in Winter Soldier. That'd be like, he gets unfrozen from the ice, you kill him in Winter Soldier, and that's it. That's what the equivalent of that is. Is like, but like, why? It's no good reason for him just to die there. Like, I get that he is supposed to die at some point, but you just jumped the gun entirely, and you just killed him and just said, fuck it, we just shooting, just to shoot. So, yeah, I didn't really care. I wasn't sad when he died. I was like, yeah, that's what I expected from this movie. And I just... whatever. I don't know. Did you guys think the fatalities were cool?
And the fatalities were cool, but there's some parts where, like, the blood effects looked not the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they were definitely entertaining. For, like, compared to the rest of the movie, it was, like, I guess a highlight.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a Mortal Kombat movie, so it's supposed to be. But it's like, it really didn't elevate the movie much. Like, there was just nothing really going on, so it's not like it makes the movie much better. It's like, oh, it's a cool scene. It's just a little bit of dopamine, and that's it.
Yeah.
I think I like the Jax fatality. That one was pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just his arms, they just look fucking cool to me. Especially because they were nubs, like little nubs at one point, and they just grew up to these massive biceps, which is crazy.
I also remember some of the dialogue in this movie was so bad. I remember laughing so much at some of this bad. Yes, you're remembering now. I remember something saying like Jack. That just reminded me of one line. I think it was like the first time when he went to fight Sub-Zero. It was like, I can handle you. I had 7 tours in Iraq. I'm like, what, did you ever fight an ice god person?
Nigga.
Okay.
In Iraq, you were fighting untrained soldiers wielding AKs. This dude is just creating ice out of nowhere. You ain't never fought a nigga like this before. And then as soon as he points the gun at him, the first thing he does is break it. So clearly, whatever you think, like, whatever you think you have fought, this is clearly nothing compared to. You ain't never seen no shit like this before, dog. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, and
he also pulled up like he knew what was going on. It was like so weird.
Yeah. Also, I'm okay with suspending my disbelief, right? I'm all for that because we make movies. This is what we do. This is the career path we follow. So you have to suspend your disbelief. But I'm not going to sit here and say that you had a dragon.
You have to earn it, though. You have to earn suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and believe that you had a dragon-shaped, like, and not like kind of looked like a dragon. Clearly was a dragon like shaped mark on you. You said, yeah, it's a birthmark. No, the fuck it isn't, dude. Like, you're gonna be like, that's like a doctor would be like, yeah, there's something wrong with your baby, dog. It's got a clearly like dragon shaped in crazy detail, and it's not even like a marking. It's like literally a burn mark because it sticks out. Like a birthmark is kind of like a patch on your body that looks a little different from the rest. That's what a birthmark is. That looks like someone fucking branded you with a dragon thing, and it's like someone would be like, yeah, something's not right here. Like, no suspension of disbelief would ever make you like think that that was normal. Like, none whatsoever. Like, no. That was just stupid.
I think you're just jealous you don't got one yourself.
Maybe I am. You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm upset I don't have a dragon branding. Maybe I wanted Arcana.
In the games, how are the fighters chosen?
I know that Kung Lao and Liu Kang are both descendants of the great Kung Lao. However, Kung Lao is a direct reincarnation, while Liu Kang is just a descendant. So like they knew about this shit since the day they were born. This is like what their whole lives have been for, was to do this dumb shit. Johnny Cage, I don't actually remember how Johnny Cage. Like I said, I know about it, but there are some blank spots. Like I do have, I can't cap on that. So in terms of like Johnny Cage and Sonya and all them,
it's like in the games. I can't remember. Are like Johnny Cage and Sonya like completely like? Are they just like guys with guns, or do they have some sort of like?
Sonya's just she has no power. She's literally just a nigga with a gun. On God. Like that, she just has a gun. Like that's it. It's like a whole bunch of bulls. Like I don't know. Like Cabal was on like Sonya's team. They used to work with this guy called Striker. They're all like a little military force together. But Cabal in this movie, he just is a bad guy. They even showed that he was a good guy once before, and then got like burned, and that's why he wears that mask, and like that's why he's a bad guy now. Like he just shows up as a bad guy, and then like
he was the one who like fought. Who was like. He said he fought Kano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, like
and then Kano just joined their side.
Melina, like it was weird that they showed off Melina, but didn't show off her sisters Jade and Katana. Like I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
they kind of jumped the gun on Melina too, like because Melina's story doesn't really make sense without the other two, and also. The way they did her teeth were just bad because she just has a Joker smile the whole movie. And then in the very last scene she's in, they finally show her teeth and they just grow in size. But it's supposed to be like teeth all around her mouth. That's how it's supposed to be. But like they just gave her a Joker smile. And like I don't.
And she's also someone who probably.
Would you say, Tim?
She also probably should have died. She was also someone who probably shouldn't have died so early on, right? Like she's probably someone.
Every character who died in this movie shouldn't have died. Like I will say this, like spoiler. When you die in this movie, that doesn't mean you stay dead. You can come back to life. There's this nigga, Shang-Chi. Is that no, not Shang. That's the nigga from Marvel. I forget the bull's name, but there's this bald head nigga, right? Fucking bald head, gray skin nigga, and he just brings bulls back to life. Like that's his job. That's why Melina exists, because he created her. But he's a bald head nigga. All he does is he brings them back to life, and they come back as zombies pretty much. And then like Raiden can help them like purify them so they can come back into their normal bodies again. But so that's like the thing that happens, right? Like if you die, that doesn't mean you're actually dead. You do have a chance of coming back to life. But it was like, again, it's just like the casual audience doesn't like. I guess they don't need to know that per se, but it's just kind of like it kind of just feels like you're wasting like. You're just kind of killing characters just to kill them. Like you're not like building it up at all. Like you're not doing anything with it. Like it just. I don't know, man. Like it just feels kind of lackluster. Like a lot of the deaths in this movie, just like it didn't mean anything to me.
It's just disappointing.
Yeah, it's just like okay, like whatever. Why am I supposed to care? Like it didn't. Nothing feels earned in this movie, really. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't feel earned. Like it just kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
It's all kind of thrown out, and nothing really lands
Yeah.
that well.
I don't know, man. How you feel about it, Brian? Like, how did the death feel to you?
Sorry, I'm trying to find out. I'm curious now if there's even rumors about Mortal Kombat 2 right now. I'm looking that up, and
I mean,
if
I
there's
feel like
actually
it's like a
there's rumors about
50-50
it,
if they make
so
it.
Would you
I
guys
can't
want to
believe
see
there's
a second
actually
movie?
like a date. No.
Not really, no.
Like if you guys told me, like we have a little group chat, guys. If people are listening, we kind of like talk about the movies. If like Tim or Yusef was like, let's watch Mortal Kombat 2, I would say no, like flat out no. Count
Only
me
if
out.
we heard only if like we heard some reviews that it was actually pretty decent.
Wait, Brian.
But otherwise,
If we have
yeah,
to
probably
watch it for the podcast, we got to because new movies get us views. So like, we might have to like if it came out. It's all about the views, dollar bills, all you feel me? It's all about that goddamn money because we not making none. YouTube, we not making nothing yet. We just here making podcasts for the love of the game, man. For the love of the people.
Well, it's saying there's a high probability that there is going to get a sequel. So
I hope.
that's that.
Please, Warner Brothers, don't greenlight this shit. No, please. Just let it go.
I mean, studios have done that before, where there's a movie that isn't good and they just make sequels. Typically with like animated movies or
just
whatever.
let it die. It's okay. I'm perfectly fine with never watching a Mortal Kombat movie again. Like, it's cool. Like you don't. It's fine, bro. Just make original
It's like
movies.
you got the games have had good stories, you know.
It's cool. I'm cool with it, man.
You know what is interesting? Making me think about video game movie or TV adaptations is that they're doing like a miniseries for The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really good story. I'm curious if they'll either like create a new story or just like completely redo the same thing but make it live action, or like a little mix of both where they expand on it. But either way, that should be really interesting. And I know they're also making a live action Halo series, which I feel like Halo is a really good market. I feel like for a live action series because if you ever see like the old Halo trailers, those things are really cool. Yeah. And Halo is such a cool universe to build on
For sure.
For a TV show.
I'm still waiting for the Super Mario's live action movie. That's the one I'm looking out for.
Hey,
and they're also making what a Minecraft movie and a Five Nights at Freddy movie.
What?
Well, wasn't there like a Five Nights at Freddy movie being made?
Serious?
Low key.
Search it up.
Actually,
Bro,
wait.
Y'all talking shit.
Listen, if it's done well, that could be
That's
okay
what I'm saying.
watch.
That's what
if
I'm saying.
Done really well.
Y'all might hate on that right now, but that Friday Nights at Freddy's, that shit might slap. That shit might slap. I'm just saying.
That might not be too bad. Yeah.
I'd watch
Some good
it.
jump scares in it. Yeah.
I fucking watch. I'm just gonna say right now. I'd watch that shit. I'd watch it. I'd pay good money to see that shit. I would. I'm not proud of it, but I'd do it. What do y'all think of
it's a big hit or miss?
What would you guys think of like a Mortal Kombat TV series? Because maybe the issue is that the Mortal Kombat story is so big, it's hard to fit it into a movie. Yeah. So maybe a TV series where you can expand upon it a bit more and take your time with it. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
I mean, I just think the best medium would be like an animated version.
It definitely would, because it's gonna give you a lot of leeway with the action scenes. It'll give you a lot more leeway. Because when you have fight-heavy stories, it's a lot harder to do in real life when you have fight-heavy stories. So, like, if you do it animated, you get a lot more room to work with the fights, and you can really, like, take your time with that shit. So, I wouldn't be opposed to, like, a animated series. That'd be pretty cool. I would enjoy that. I say I would enjoy that the same as I thought I would enjoy this movie. And look how that turned out. But animations, you got a lot more room to work with there. You're not bounded by as much stuff as you are with movies and whatnot. But yeah, so let's give our final thoughts on this movie, and then let's discuss about what we're doing for the 5th episode, guys. So let's give our final thoughts. So final statements, and then we're gonna do just our ratings out of 10. So everyone, Tim, I'll let you go first. Just give your final closing statements, and then tell me what you give it out of 10.
So I mean, the beginning of this movie, like you said, was actually kind of surprised me, and it was actually entertaining with the origin of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But then it quickly kind of just goes downhill, and it's disappointing. And none of the characters really land in this movie. A lot of the action doesn't land. Like there's a decent amount of action, but it's like I don't know, it's not really there. And just everything about this movie, it seems like they could have done so much more. Cole's character, they should have scrapped it and used pre-existing characters, which would have saved plot and story time. And yeah, so I mean, there's some elements of the movie that are interesting, but overall, I did not enjoy this movie, and I think it's like a 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna make it nice and clear and simple. Don't watch this shit. Just don't watch it. That's it.
Let these niggas know, Brian. Let them know.
Just don't watch it. Just fucking don't watch it. Go watch Jojo Rabbit. Go watch Taxi Driver. Go watch one of those. Don't watch this. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, as Tim said, this movie starts off very strong and very well. First 10 to 15 minutes are very entertaining, and then it quickly falls on its face hard and bad. The characters are flat, boring, and it's very lackluster. And you kind of just feel like, why am I even watching this? And like, nothing feels important ever. Like, everything feels unimportant in this film. And the only good elements of this are the Scorpion Sub-Zero's plotline, and that makes a total of 20 minutes of the entire film. The film was almost 2 hours long, and about 20 minutes is actually Sub-Zero and Scorpion. The trailer makes it seem like Scorpion's in this a lot. He isn't. Scorpion's barely. He's literally in the beginning and the end of the movie.
I'd say probably even less than that.
I mean, no, he literally is in the beginning and in the end. That's the only time he shows up throughout the film. It's just beginning and the end. That's it. You'll never see him again other than those two parts. Other than that, this movie is ass. It was dog shit. A waste of my time. A waste of my energy. So with that being said, I give this movie a 2 out of 10. Do not watch this shit. Do not waste your time. It is not good. It's dog shit.
I give it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I might be dropping it actually to either 3 or 3.5.
Yeah, like I'm surprised you gave it a 4 because like a 4, even if you got a 4 at least shows me you gave effort. I don't feel like you even.
I'd say 3.
Yeah, like it just kind of feels like you didn't even try. Like, so you got a 2 from me. This is actually dog shit. One of the worst movies I've personally ever seen. And that's from a person who had no I did not have high hopes for this movie. I had no expectations. I just assumed it was just going to be a bloodbath, and it was just no expectations whatsoever.
It wasn't even a bloodbath. It wasn't even that.
I had no expectations, but it's no expectations, and it still disappointed me somehow. With that being said, let's discuss what we're doing for episode 5, because fuck Mortal Kombat. Episode 5, guys, we're not going to be discussing a film. Instead, you're going to be able to interact with us, to get to know your host. So, on social media, over the next coming weeks, until we record episode 5, we're going to be asking you guys can ask us questions about literally anything. Ask us questions about us, ask us questions about advice, ask us questions about films, ask us questions about anything. Like, literally, whatever you want. If you want to ask us advice on your relationship, fucking ask us. And we are going to answer it. And we just want to have a little fun with this episode 5. We want to kind of just, like, just so you guys can get to see our personalities outside of just discussing film, just so you guys get to know us. And it'll be a good way just to interact with the people who are listening. And I think it would help.
It's a much more general and broad episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just lay back. Just chill.
Exactly. Just a chill, nice...
Yusef's going to make some drinks. He's going to bring some... No drinks? No, go ahead, no drinks.
No, we bring in drinks. We bring in drinks. Bottoms up.
Drinks?
Yeah, we bring in drinks. Let's bring in... Yes, sir. We getting into it. We popping bottles. We fucking...
I was going to say... Yeah, just... I guess... DM us. We might do some posts on our stories. Yeah. I'm guessing that's probably the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I think we'll just post on the Film Dissection podcast Instagram.
There you
go.
Do
it on
post
our personal
Instagram
as well. And then we'll post on our personal as well. So we'll just that way everyone can get a chance to fucking ask us any type of question. Literally fucking anything. Whatever you want to ask us, and we're just gonna be out here. We're just gonna be chilling. Just talking. It's just gonna be a nice little fun time, just a little hangout sesh. Might be kind of funny. I hope it's gonna be funny. And we out here. So yeah, anything else y'all want to say before we wrap this episode up?
Tim?
I don't know. I think anything else I'll talk about in the next episode. We'll talk about general stuff. So I think that's all we got.
I would like to say something before we end this episode. Fuck Josh Whedon. Me and all my homies hate Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon a bitch ass nigga. I smack the fuck out of his bald head. He makes piece of shit movies. Fuck that nigga. He looks like a bitch. I put in my dick in his mouth. Fuck him. He eat a dick. Fuck that nigga on phone them grade. Fuck is he talking about, pussy boy? Yeah, so that's all I had to say about that.
Alrighty.
But yeah, so
Had to get our general hate on Joss Whedon out.
yeah, fuck Josh Whedon. From now on, at the end of every episode,
our daily venting of Joss Whedon.
Yeah, so on every episode, we will be saying fuck Josh Whedon because that's how we feel here at the Film Dissection Podcast about Josh Whedon. And if you got a problem with it, you and Josh Whedon go fuck off. Fuck you guys. But thank you guys for watching another episode of Film Dissection. This has been a fun time. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This will be out on everywhere you can find podcasts. So just fucking share with your friends, rack up the views, let's get it going, and we'll be back sometime soon with episode 5 with your guys' questions. So, see ya.